what they're going to present is the UK, because that's the only realm that they have left to work in. They have violated the law of England, and they have violated the law of Great Britain, the Union. So they have only one other place to escape to, one other jurisdiction where they can still move, and that's the jurisdiction of the air. And so they are trying desperately to set up this war in the jurisdiction of the air, in which your beliefs and which your power to discern and which your ability to actually bring forward your claims and to recognize the importance of energy will determine the outcome. And they're going to try to set themselves up according to the biblical narrative. They're going to try to set up the Windsors as if they were the late great progeny of King David, if you can swallow that with a, yeah, well, they're supposed to be the progeny of Joseph, to be exact, who is the forefather of King David, and on like that. And so they're going to say that whoever is king of the UK, the corporation, emperor of the UK, right, is Ephraim. You know that the tribes of Israel were the 12 sons of Jacob, with one exception, well, actually two exceptions, but you know that Joseph bypassed his birthright. You find Joseph, beloved son of Jacob, who kept a prisoner in Egypt and became a mighty prince of Egypt, married the daughter of Potiphar, the high priest of Egypt, and he had two sons. And their names were Ephraim and Manasseh. When it came time for Jacob to pass out his blessings to all his sons, Joseph elected not to receive his birthright and instead to pass it on to his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And they are going to try to tell you that the Windsors or their, their family in some way or another are the progeny of Ephraim, Joseph's older son, who was said to inherit the scepter, and Manasseh, his younger son, was said to inherit all the wealth. And so they're setting up Britain and the United States to play those two roles, with Ephraim being represented by the British royals with their scepter, right? And Manasseh, the one with all the money, being the United States, the younger brother. You can believe this or not, but that's how they're setting it up. And they're also setting us up for the next round, which will be the black horse of the apocalypse, which is starvation. And that's why you've been seeing the attacks on our farmland, the attacks on our food production facilities, the attacks on our chickens, on our beef, on everything else that lives and walks and breathes, is to reduce us to starvation. Even if they don't have any other means of doing it, they're going to finagle around and try to starve us. And this is just part of their narrative. They have the white horse, the killing of the nations in the name of these fanciful fictional corporations. And now they've got the black horse coming, and we can see it. We can see what they're doing. We don't need to wait for any denouement. We know exactly how this story is laid out. We know what they're trying to produce in reality, according to their do-it-yourself narrative. So, let's just cut to the chase. Why do we have to starve? Why do we have to go through a war? Why don't we just arrest the pikers now and be done with it? Because it isn't the real God. It isn't the true God that's doing any of this. This is just some men who are trying to create out of their own imaginations the results of the entire book of Revelation. And it's, like I say, it's a DIY, do-it-yourself project that they're just rolling out like a theater production.
But it's the small minds of men who are doing it, and certainly has, like you say, nothing to do with our Creator and what our Creator ever intended for this world. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
It is. It's just
and horseshit too.
It's just craziness. It's some people that are a little bit and they think that we're going to be superstitious and we're going to believe all this after all the lies they've told us, after all of the state governments and everything that they've done with the name of our country, and all of the duplicity and the substitution schemes and the outright lies and the gross omissions and the breaches of trust and the theft and the confiscations and breaches of public trust. I mean, why should we think anything about them at all except that they're a bunch of bad men and criminals? King, Emperor Charles III, right? And he's trying to pull off being a Satanist. He's already revealed that he's not a Protestant, right? And so he's no longer making any claim to be the King of Great Britain. Couldn't meet that one and be a Satanist, right? So, or a Catholic. But anyway, so now he's emerged as a Satanist, and the same thing is happening with Bergoglio. And the reason that they're doing this is that under ecclesiastical law, they would be obligated to liquidate these corporations that they've set up to function as the new government. And what we're saying is, no, legal fictions are not going to rule over men in this way. We're not going to have unlawful corporations running loose in the world. And so they're trying to, now they're going to convert to Satanism, because Satanism is outside the ecclesiastical law. And it also is a convenient excuse for all of the lies and criminality and murder and theft and deceit that they've practiced to get this far. Okay, so they're going to try to dodge their obligation to liquidate these corporations by converting to Satanism. I mean, these guys are just charlatans. They're just shameless charlatans. Oh, you mean that if I'm a Christian, I have to do the right thing? Oh my, well, I guess I won't do the right thing then. I'll be a Satanist instead. Oh, you mean that if I'm going to be the King of Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, I actually have to be a Protestant?
You can't make this stuff up.
Right. And so obviously he can't be a Christian king of England and be a Satanist. He can't be a king of the United Kingdom because that requires him to be Protestant. Can't be a Satanist and a Protestant at the same time, can you? So now he's gone to Rome, and Rome has always been pagan. So we have the Holy Roman Empire rearing its ugly head again, and we've got Prince Charles and George Bergoglio, both of them, converting to Satanism so that they can excuse their horrendous acts and, try to dodge the bullet and not have to liquidate their corporations. And I say that's all just nothing, just more bunk, more criminality, more trying to escape the obligations of their contracts. And we really shouldn't spend more than 10 minutes thinking about them. We should just arrest them and be done with it.
Hear, hear. I'm all for that.